Hello and welcome. What we're going to do in this video is talk about the solution to the mess and the problem that we talked about in the previous video. Now, remember again, this is my opinion, but I think I'm right. And you'll understand this, that if this makes sense to you, you need to give us a call. So, what is the solution? The solution is consumer-driven health. Now, everybody's kind of heard the buzzword, but they really don't understand what consumer-driven health. Consumer-driven health is really this: taking the power away from the drugs and the health and the insurance companies, the money, and we're going to give it back to you. We're going to give more of the power and control back to you instead of them having all the power and control. You're going to have the big smiley face. They're going to have the sad faces on now. Now, there's you and me. Then we're going to put some programs that work in between the providers, and you'll understand that in just a little bit. There's lots of programs, and this is our main focus today, is to develop a bunch of different programs that enhance the relationship between you and your providers. Okay, saves you money and so on. That's where we spend most of our time. Now, we'll talk about the ultimate goal, but if you're thinking about how can I cut cost, and I'm going to address that, our plan is it's conceptual, and you'll have to watch some more of the videos if you want to know the nitty-gritty on how each one works and so on, but I'm just going to give you a brief overview on this video. The things that we can do to drop or control cost are we can drop coverage or just not have coverage, and that's where a lot of people fall, and I understand that because the rates are going through the roof, and or we just know that I can't afford it, so I'm not even going to go look. But you know, we can help you. Our plan shows you how you can get some affordable, and it's a building process. You start here and you keep adding, and if you can't get the whole package. So we can raise deductibles and coinsurance, and typically your agents and brokers, this is pretty much their solution. You know, that's about as far as they can think out of the box. Now, we talked about the pork in the previous video. We need to cut the pork out of it. That'll save you, 25% or more if you just get rid of the pork. Implement some health events, and diet, exercise, get off the bad habits that we got, because this stuff is continually going to keep rating you up. Fifth, individual versus group. If you are working for a company, especially a small company, and you are putting your family on the group plan, you are getting taken to the cleaners. You need to get your family off of the group plan and onto an individual package. And if you can, go to your employer and say, hey, the money you're paying for my individual, I'd love you just to pay that to me. And this is what I did initially when I got started. I was working for a company trying to figure this whole health thing, and I was like, well, I can do my whole family for about what they're paying for me individually. So my employer did that. It was a beautiful thing. But you might try that. Now, if you're thinking, well, one of my children is uninsurable or my spouse is uninsurable, keep them on the group plan. It's case specific, but by and large, we can save you a ton of money just getting people off the group. The only exception is if you work for a very large company and they get some tremendous benefits that might be better to stay on the group. We can repackage. We're talking about that in just a second. Repackaging is probably the key to this thing. And you say repackage, people go, huh? What's that? Well, I'm going to explain that in just a second. The ultimate goal is to get you to a point of what we call semi-self-insured or self-insured. If you have a big pile of money and you're making really good returns on it, you can pretty much pay for all your health care. You might get some super huge deductible and that's it, just to protect the nest egg. But anyway, repackaging. When we talk about repackaging, let's look at the components of it. We need some kind of a health package, something to get us in and out of the hospital, inpatient, outpatient. We mix ours or partner it with what we call an accident plan. Accident, it pays you instead of paying to the doctors. If you have some kind of a health event, and I want you to understand this, when any kind of an event that we go to the doctor or hospital for, it's going to fall into one of four categories. It's going to be either an accident or a health event. Accident will be either major or minor. Health event will be either major or minor. It's going to be one of those four quadrants. Okay? And I also want you to understand that most of the time you're just paying premium. Most of the time you're just paying premium. Okay? We have a health package. And what we do we encourage people to do is get a high deductible and cut out the pork. Okay? We mix it with an accident plan And when I say a high deductible, let's say a $15,000. This is, I'm going to tell you the plan we have on us. We have a $15,000 health insurance plan, and we put an accident plan that would pay $15,000. So it pays that gap of $15,000. So I'm out nothing if we have an accident and we go in the hospital. Or if it's a minor accident, I'm not even going to get into. If it's a $5,000, I'm not even going to touch my health plan. The accident plan is going to pay all the cost anyway. Then we put a critical illness piece. Now the critical illness, going back to this, if it's a major health event, let's say it's a cancer, stroke, heart attack, kidney failure, organ transplant, deafness, blindness, paralysis, any of those, what this does is it'll pay you up to $250,000. The plan we have on us is $100,000, and it would pay us directly. It's not going to pay the hospital and the doctors. So if I had a $100,000 heart attack, $100,000, my health would pick up after 15, but I'm going to be $15,000 that I'm responsible for. How do I pay that? Well, I'm going to get a $100,000 check from my critical illness people. Now, we also, one of the programs that we have in play is called a patient advocacy. What they do is negotiate on your behalf. Their statistic is 83% of the billable amount that you're responsible for, they get eliminated. So, let's go back to this. I had a critical illness, and I had a $15,000 deductible, and let's say, you know, I had my patient advocacy people and I got my critical illness check. If they negotiated 83% off of $15,000, that's only a couple $1,000s that I would be responsible for. See, we use them to negotiate for us. They're the experts and we're not in medical billing. If you had a health event that was not a critical illness but a major, let's say it was $30,000 and it was not a major deal, it was maybe appendicitis or something, you pick. After 15, this picks up. So the 15 you're responsible for. Patient advocacy negotiates 83%. That's the only piece that you're a little bit vulnerable. All your minor health events, you're going to pay out of pocket. You pay it out of this baby right here. You put money into your health insurance, but you're paying catastrophic, and you're taking the difference and investing it into a 15 to 50% tax deferred. It's not a health savings account. It's something different. And our financial people can help you do that. And yes, the returns are 15 to 50%. It's not, you know, I'm not joking with you here. Okay, going back to this, critical illness, disability. We typically put an accident disability. Health disability is a little bit expensive. No really reason to have it. Case specific, maybe pregnancies, if complications or something with pregnancies, we may do that. But typically accident disability. And then we put some miscellaneous stuff. If you have certain medications you're on, they're expensive. We have some drug advocacy piece, and then we put a cancer plan on our children because there's going to be some unexpected cost outside of what the health package is going to cover. So we put that on our kiddos. And then last but not least, life insurance, term. Don't waste your money on all the exotics. Just get term because you know what the cost is going to be fixed. All these are going to stay pretty much fixed. They're very level. But this is the only animal that could move around. If you pull the pork out and you raise your deductible up, the cost is going to come way down, and it's even if it moves 10%, the overall it might move 3%, 4% of the overall cost. The goal is, I want to get this animal right here 25 to 50% of my overall cost. Okay? When we do that, if it goes up 10%, the overall cost that it goes up for my healthcare package is about 3-4%. I can handle that, but I can't handle the 10 to 20, 30% raises on a year-end basis. So that's kind of the overall. You have to go watch the rest of the videos if you want to get the details, but this is just the gist. When we talk about programs, Teladoc, it's $5 a month instead of going into the doctor. They can prescribe a lot of medications for us. Dental vision, there's a whole bunch of programs, and we'll cover that in some succeeding videos. So you just have to continue watching to understand how it all rolls out. We'll talk to you later.